Hi, it's me, Gabriela. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about why and how we make our life harder when practicing verb conjugations and complex grammatical structures. It might sound obvious, but it's not. Of course, I'll share with you one of my favorite games to practice verb conjugations with a clear example on how to practice a subjunctive mode in one of my students' sessions. Okay, so let's go. Have you ever found yourself doubting and hesitating in a conversation about which tense to use? Maybe you've studied and learned tenses through reading and writing and feel super confident, but when it comes to speaking, you get stuck trying to figure out how to put it into practice. Or maybe when you are trying your best with a tense, you feel evaluated. I hear you, I've been there, so I know how awkward the lack of confidence feels. From my perspective, there are a few things involved in this, and I will give you solutions for it. So, the first thing is the approach. Of course, the approach. When we approach conjugations and tenses, the first thought that crosses our minds is memorization. We don't need to memorize verbs. We need to understand their impact as actions. Part of understanding their impact as actions is linked to observation. Observing without rushing to judge is key. When we combine observation with evaluation, we tend to generalize. On the other hand, when we observe without evaluating right away, we start to appreciate the specific context, timing, and characters involved. That's exactly what you need to really grasp their behavior and feel confident using it in conversation. Evaluation works in different ways. We might be trying to learn verbs, tenses, and complex grammatical structures to memorize them and make them part of our speech. But when we approach from that perspective, we also might feel evaluated and labeled as a consequence. You might think, so what, Gabriela? Well, when we start building our interactions with verbs and tenses from that approach, we inevitably grow stronger insecurities instead of observing the tense patterns and context to understand their impact as actions. We are more likely to try to memorize and replicate them perfectly without considering other aspects. So, how do I do it? Super easy. With the what comes next game. It's a simple game that will break your routine and give you a whole new perspective on conjugations. Okay, so here we are, right? The first thing that I want to share with you is a bit of context. In this session, we were working on the, let's call it like the justification muscle needed to use the subjunctive mode. Right? So the first thing that we did was setting up like a stable situation, and from there we start building up the whole interaction. So let's see how it works. Let's play a bit. So let me go here to this video and I'm gonna play it, right? Tú estás en una oficina. So him being in an office is the stable situation. And from there, we're gonna start building up the interaction, finding the justifications that are gonna give us the cues for building up the subjunctive mode. Okay, so let's see how it goes.
Si yo estuviera en una oficina, tendría un lugar para mi computadora.
Si tú estuvieses en una oficina, tendrías un lugar para tu computadora y tendrías una biblioteca con muchos libros.
Si yo tuviera una biblioteca con muchos libros, estaría muy contento.
Si tú estuvieses muy contento, seguro pasarías más tiempo caminando bajo la lluvia.
Sí, si yo estuviera caminando en la lluvia, necesitaría paraguas.
Okay, so the game more or less looks like this. The first step that you need to do is set this like stable situation, and normally what you can do is like you can imagine putting someone on stage. Imagine that you have like this place, this theater, and you just set someone there standing doing nothing, and from there you need to start building up how the story looks like. In this case, what we did is saying él está en una oficina, and from there anything could happen. So it is a super powerful game because the first thing that you do is coming from nowhere to an imaginary situation that pictures a perfect frame, and it gives you a place to feel part of it, and this creates like the meaningful like path and meaningful interaction that is going to help you to feel more relaxed, more in ease. And also it is a great tool for a conversation, because imagine that you're in a conversation and you are like, you don't know what the stable situation is going to look like, but from that stable situation that someone provides you in a conversation, you need to start building up the next things that are going to happen. So what comes next? We don't know what comes next, but we can train ourselves and prepare for any kind of situation. And this is just the excuse to use the subjunctive mode, but you can do it with any grammatical tense actually. You just need to be a bit creative and have a partner like willing to do it with you, right? Okay, so we did a bunch of like interactions like this in this session, and it was super good because first my student had the chance to create this connection with something fun and verbs and conjugations, and second give you the opportunity to explore different scenarios and words and sentences that you don't practice normally. So give it a go, I really recommend it. So breaking the routine in the learning process is more important than you think. Changing your approach to complex structures will boost your confidence and help you feel more relaxed, which greatly impacts fluency. If you want to practice this game with a partner, remember two key aspects, right? Being obvious and painting clear pictures. It's not the same to say I'm reading a book as it is to say I'm reading a horror novel when the lights go out. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy with how this channel is developing, and you are a big part of it. I truly appreciate all your comments, advice. So keep giving me thumbs up and sharing your insights. It means a lot. See you soon y chao pescado.